Questions for reflection. In our reading from the first letter to the Thessalonians, Paul speaks about mourning for the dead. In fact, he does not use the word dead, but rather asleep, because it is a more accurate description. Also, because the expression was common among the early followers of Jesus Christ. These early Christians did not fear death. They sometimes referred to it as a change of dwellings. It is natural to be sad when our loved ones depart this life. It's okay to mourn and to feel emotional, and it can be difficult to move forward when confronted with such grief, especially for a long-time spouse or even a child. But our Christian faith teaches one very important thing about death, that death is not for us. For us, there is resurrection to eternal life. Let this lesson be of comfort to you when you reflect upon your departed loved ones. If you feel you struggle with grief, reach out and speak to your pastor or deacon and spend time reflecting on this reading. We will be reborn to live in perfect communion with God and all the faithful. And this is the good news, the gospel of the Lord. Our responsorial psalm is one of rejoicing, for God is coming soon. The skeptics contend that the wait for Christ's return is long in coming, and they scoff at those who believe. Yet it is they who will be surprised, for God has kept every promise he has ever made, and we have confidence he will keep this final promise as well. So let us rejoice and care not what the skeptics say, for God is coming soon, and his promises will be fulfilled. In our gospel reading, we find Jesus reading from the book of Isaiah in the synagogue. Raised in a Jewish home, he was quite familiar with this passage, and he knew that the rabbis saw this as referring to the coming of the promised Messiah. He is, in effect, declaring that he is that Messiah. His preaching is such that all are astonished. But then Jesus takes a turn and points out that during a time of famine and disease, God only saved Naaman, a Syrian, an outsider who responded to God's instructions with faith. This example illustrates a point, that God can help whom he chooses and will only help those who respond to him in faith. This upset the people in Jesus' hometown because they wanted to see Jesus work miracles, but they did not accept him as Lord. And so they took him to a cliff to throw him off, but he simply walked through the crowd and away. Incidentally, that was a miracle, but the people were so blind, they could not see it. Miracles happen all the time, but often people do not see them because they're blinded by skepticism. Let us look around for miracles. Do we see any around us? We should. But if we do not, let us consider that we are viewing the world through the wrong eyes, through skeptical eyes, when perhaps we should be seeing with eyes of faith.